So last video we focused mainly on Mario Brothers 1 through 3, including Super Mario World, and we focused on all those enemies there, and we're moving on down the list today with the part 2 of Super Mario Maker 2 captures that we really want to see. And we're really focusing with enemies in these videos, not really any type of side characters, and we might make a separate video for them later on. But now we're moving on to Yoshi's Island, Super Mario 64, and yes, Super Mario Sunshine. But unfortunately, my favorite game, Super Mario Sunshine, only had one enemy that I felt should be included in this list. If you feel any of these characters were missed out or any enemies that I left out, please comment down below. But without further ado, let's get started. Starting our list is Yoshi's Island, the original, and we're going straight off the bat with Bandit. The Bandits are really cool enemies that actually appeared in multiple Mario games throughout the future. Bandits are these annoying enemies that take things from the main characters, such as Mario or Yoshi. They either take Baby Mario or they take coins from you or other items such as the Paper Mario series, and it's kind of hard to get them back because you have to beat them before they run away with it. And I think this would be a cool enemy. I don't know to make Mario a thief, but Mario could turn into a bandit and maybe take certain things from other bad guys or maybe run quicker. And there's also different types of variants of bandits. There's ones with baseball bats and, you know, they throw baseballs with catcher mitts and all kinds of stuff like that. So I think it'd be really cool to be a bandit for once. Bert the Bashful is the Wispy Woods of the Yoshi series. I mean, he appears almost as the first boss every single game and every single installment. So it's really cool to have him. His little shorts can fall down, but besides that, Mario can turn into Bert and kind of bounce around, and similar to how those walruses did in Super Mario Odyssey, he can kind of roll around, bounce around, and stuff like that. Maybe get more of them and stack them on top of each other as like a Goomba tower, and he could do some pretty cool things with him. The Blarg, or the Neppy Nut, however you pronounce that, are these weird type of magma and water creatures that are in Yoshi's Island. They dig deep into the ocean or into the magma, and they pop up when Yoshi gets near, and they can get pretty big. So it'd really be cool to kind of float on the surface of the water or the magma with Mario and kind of like bump up and grab enemies with your mouth or stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, you know, why not? In Mario Odyssey, there weren't many enemies to turn into in the air and fly around the map and see everything from above, so I think they should go with more winged enemies, and one of those from Yoshi's Island is the Goonie. And the Goonie is this little bird that can, you know, fly until it gets hit once and then you run really quick on the ground, so maybe that same type of thing applies to Mario. Maybe you can fly high in the air, and after a short while, the wings will come off, or after you get hit by something, the wings will come off, and you can sprint really fast on the ground as the wingless bird. Similar to the Goonie with the flying aspect, I think the Gusties are really cool enemies in the Yoshi's Island series. They fly really quick across the screen, and I think it'd be really cool to be one of them, just like the Bullet Bill, but you go even faster as a Gusty, and I think it'd be really cool, you know, why not? Ending off our Yoshi's Island list, we have none other than Kamek. I feel like Kamek is a big one here. Kamek appears in so many Mario games throughout the years, it's ridiculous. And I think she is a main enemy and a type of enemy that could be really clever to use in a Mario Odyssey game. So pretty much, Mario could capture her and use all of her different spells, maybe use her broomstick to fly around, and all kinds of stuff. She can turn things into brick, turn enemies into brick, turn enemies into mushrooms, all kind of stuff. And you could pretty much just become a little tiny wizard with Mario. It would look goofy, but it would be really unique. Starting our Super Mario 64 list, we have the Whomp. We did the Whomp last video, but this one, I think the Whomp is super important just as well. He has been in lots of Mario games, and he's not really a difficult enemy to make. He's very basic. So pretty much, he just walks around and he falls over on his stomach, and you have to hit his back to defeat him. And you can do the similar same thing. Maybe you have to break certain bricks below you by falling on them, or maybe you have to like kind of make a bridge with him by falling over and tilting him over and then jumping up out of his body. But it'd be really cool to kind of mess around with him. Once again, we got another flying enemy being the Klepto. He takes Mario's hat lots of times, and he even did in Super Mario Odyssey, so why not turn into this stupid dude? Turn into him and be able to fly around the island and do cool stuff like that, I think would be really unique, and once again, I just really want a flying enemy. Nagi is a really unique underwater creature, and it's this giant red eel that can attack Mario through little caves and stuff like that, and he's appeared in, once again, multiple Mario games. So it'd be really cool to be this giant eel in the water and eating things, and just being bigger enemies is also just really cool to me. So, pretty much this enemy has to happen. Come on, the piano in Super Mario 64. How cool would it be this creepy piano and just walk around scaring everybody and they just run away from you? Why not? Bring it back. Come on, this is an iconic enemy in the Mario franchise, and I think it needs to return. Next up, we have the Swooper. Yes, again, it's another flying enemy, but why not have a bat? You know, there's lots of Swoopers in the Mario franchise, and I think it'd be cool to fly around in caves as a bat. Maybe fly with your, you know, what do you call a flock of bat? Is it just flock of bats? But you fly around with your fellow bat companions, and you can kind of like scare enemies out of caves and stuff like that. It'd be really cool. Next up, we have the Bully. The Bully is this pretty much big old bully that pushes Mario around and tries to knock you off platforms, and it's your goal to knock him off in order to get the star. So you could be this bully, just run around charging at people and knocking them down. I know Charging Chuck was in Super Mario Odyssey at the end, but it'd be really cool to have the bully as well, where you can, you know, knock enemies around and, you know, kind of have like a big old bully battle with others. Mr. I is a weird enemy, and I had to include him because he's just weird enough to work. So Mr. I is just this floating eyeball that if you run around him, he'll die. But he shoots lasers and stuff at you, and he can kind of like move really slow in the air. It'd be a weird one, definitely be a weird one, but why not? I mean, it could work. Maybe give Mario one eye and a mustache on it and the hat. It would be the creepiest looking enemy transformation yet, but it could work. Last but not least, for Super Mario 64, we have the Amp. And the Amp is this little electric node ball thing that follows around and tries to electrocute Mario. Normally, they follow a straight path, but it'd be really cool to kind of maybe, you know, you have to turn the electricity on in some building, or you have to do some type of puzzle with the amps. That'd be really cool. And maybe you have to like turn light bulbs on, or maybe you just straight attack enemies with it. Maybe there's some type of giant boss where you have to take down by using the amps to get up into its like electrical grid. Who knows? But I think it'd be really cool, and it's one of those weird enemies that's just weird enough to work. And our only candidate today for Super Mario Sunshine is Quack. Quacks are enemies that actually started appearing more and more as the series progressed. It has showed up in Super Mario Galaxy, and they're cool enemies that pretty much launch Mario up in the air, and they don't really hurt him as much unless you come across like a red one, and they can actually hurt. But you could pretty much be a Quack and just start running at enemies and flinging them up in the air, and it'd be really cool to like maybe lift something up, blocks or something for puzzles. And I think it'd be a really cool, unique throwback for Super Mario Sunshine, since most of the enemies aren't really memorable. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you for watching the last video, and thanks for watching this one. If you liked the video, like it, and subscribe if you're new. If you're returning, hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I post more of these or any other videos that you guys may enjoy. Thank you for tuning in, and if I missed any enemies within this series, please let me know and comment down below, and I'll come into a collection at the very end of all these series and make one last video. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I will be moving on to the next categories next, probably Super Mario Galaxy series and others in the future. But so, thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for starting off this month of April with this cool video. So thank you guys, and I will see you on the next one. See you guys.